Hello everyone, back tuning in to today's video. Really late with today's video, but we're doing JMA Friday as well as on a Friday. We're having a look at the weather next month. This takes us into the second half of March. So I'm really late with today's video, so I'm just going to rattle through everything as quickly as I can. We're going to start off with some pictures that have been sent to me from the damage that was caused by Storm Doris. So I'll go with that for you in a second. Before I go with that, just say about the ads, link, subscribe, on the page, have a browse, visit, click through links, you help us to pay website. Thanks very much for doing that. So this has been sent to us by Mark in the Wirral, I think, and this is a picture of some tiles missing from off the roof of don't know if that's Mark's house or if it's his neighbour. This would have been sent to us by David, and this is a tree that's been brought down across a road in Cheshire. So took a real battering that. And this is from the ground level, showing that tree completely uprooted and pushed over. So big thank you to Mark and David for sending their picture. Remember, if you have got any pictures that are weather related, you can email them to us at gazlovids@gmail.com, or you can post them in the comment box at Gazlovids, and we're always happy to feature those pictures in the video. Very, very destructive day yesterday from Storm Doris. Lots and lots of trees blown down. Things much, much calmer, of course, today. Right, let's go on with JMA Friday, and we're going to have a look at the 500 millibar height anomalies broken down into weekly periods. And the first weekly period we're starting with is the week that we're currently in, 24th of February through to the 3rd of March. Blue extrapolates low pressure, and yellow, orange, red, brighter colours, that extrapolates high pressure. So for the coming week, I've got a trough in the Atlantic, got a ridge down to the south and to the southwest, so a jet stream going through the country like that. Looks really unsettled, that one. There'd be bouts of rain sweeping across the country, probably quite strong winds as well. This is a deep trough in the Atlantic, so a bit of an Atlantic onslaught coming up for the next week. Into week 2, the JMA is seeing a change. This takes us from the 3rd through to the 10th of March. And we find heights rising here to the east, with the low pressure becoming stuck out to the west. So this is turning more settled. The jet stream doing something like that. I reckon that's an early burst of spring. There we have some spring warmth, I think, with that. High pressure just over into the eastern country. Low pressure well away from us. That looks a lot drier, looks a lot calmer. And also quite a lot warmer as well, because the air is being drawn up from the south or the southwest. And then we go through to weeks 3 and 4, which takes us from the 10th through to the 24th of March. And, well, this looks pretty good again. We've got above average heights just to the east. The low pressure remains out to the west. The flow and the jet stream is doing something like that. It looks like another cold plunge going down into eastern and southeastern Europe, by the way, from that trough. But we're close to this area of above average heights. I think we're probably still drawing the wind in from the south or the southeast. So western areas could be unsettled. East areas getting the driest weather, and temperatures probably quite warm. So a pretty warm start to the spring in March, if this is correct. Let's have a look at the temperature and precipitation anomalies that go with those heights. So again, we come back to week 1, which takes us from today, the 24th of February, through to the 3rd of March. Remember, this one is a very unsettled one, with the low pressure in the Atlantic and the jet stream coming through the country. So you'd expect this to be really quite wet, and that's what the model is doing. It's going for above average precipitation there across western parts of Europe into British Isles. But it is mild. Temperatures are coming out above average in the next week, so mild and wet. We go through to week 2. This taking us from the 3rd through 10th of March. We find the heights rising here to the east and over the country. The low pressure is in the central Atlantic, and the jet stream doing something rather like that. So you will think this is going to be a drier week. It is a little bit drier, but actually still being plagued by precipitation, especially so for England and Wales, perhaps a little bit surprisingly. And the temperature anomaly, though, that looks very warm indeed. We are drawing up the air from the south and the southwest. So, I mean, that looks like we've got temperature anomalies going to around 2 to 3 degrees above average. A real early burst of quite warm spring weather coming up there, if that one is correct. And no general change as we go through to weeks 3 and 4 either. This takes us from the 10th through the 24th of March. We've got that ridge to the east, the low pressure is still to the west, so the broad pattern remains very similar. The precipitation anomaly looks mostly dry for the north and the east, but it's a bit wetter than average to the south and to the west. The temperature anomaly is actually lowering ever so slightly. I think it's probably just about, because it's a 2 weekly anomaly, so weeks 3 and 4, and a little further out. I think it's probably just about the model is losing the strength of the signal a little bit, if anything, because the broad pattern remains very similar. So temperature anomalies are still coming out above average, just not to as much of a degree as we see through the first half of March. But I suspect if it panned out as model is suggesting, that would still be a very significantly warmer than average couple of weeks there. From the 10th to 24th. Remember, that is a 2 weekly anomaly as well, so it might be that the pattern that we have in weeks 1 and 2 continues to week 3, and then there's some sort of pattern change in week 4 to something colder, and so the anomaly for the 2 weeks isn't as above average, you see what I mean? So when you talk about a 2 weekly anomaly, it's never quite as straightforward as a 1 week anomaly. In any case, I think we can say that the JMA is definitely seeing quite a significantly warmer than average March coming up. What about CFS V2? Well, these again, 500 millibar height anomalies broken down into week periods. The first week period taking us from 24th of February through to the 2nd of March. We've got low pressure to the north and west. We've got the high pressure here to the south of the country. So it looks a classic westerly setup. Unsettled, but probably mild. The air's driving in off the Atlantic, but there will be bouts of rain as well. Into week 2, which takes us from the 3rd through to the 9th of March, we find above average heights going more towards Scandinavia and Greenland. So there is hints of northern blocking there, low pressure in the Atlantic. But that northern blocking is not in a position to deliver cold weather because the ridge actually extends down through central parts of Europe. So the way it's all lining up, and it's been the case throughout winter really, we're very unlucky, or have been very unlucky with cold weather this winter, and it looks like continuing to the spring. The way it's lining up is to do something a bit like that with the flow. So although there is quite a substantial northern blocking feature there between Greenland and Scandinavia, we are still drawing in mild air. We go through to week 3, and that northern blocking feature is more towards the northwest of us now. So low pressure down there. And we're probably sort of bringing in the air more from an east or northeasterly direction. So that could be a little bit cooler there through that week, the 10th through to the 16th of March. I wouldn't necessarily say it's all that cold, but perhaps a little bit cooler there, certainly compared to what the JMA is doing for the middle of March. And then we move through to week 4, which is the 17th through to the 23rd of March, and we find above average heights over Scandinavia. So lots of high pressure coming up after the first week, anyway, which is more unsettled. Quite a lot of anticyclonic influences, and this one probably just drawing in an east-southeasterly flow, which could be cool, probably drags in a lot of cloud. But there might still be a little bit of a southeasterly component to that wind, with the air going something like that. And if that does happen, then it's likely to be a fairly mild east-southeasterly flow, but we're setting up there. Temperature anomalies for the next week, the 24th of February through the 2nd of March, coming out warmer than average. Week 2 temperature anomalies coming out very significantly warmer than average. So both the JMA and the CFS are in agreement for this period from around the 3rd through to the 9th or 10th of March to be very significantly milder than average. We go through to week 3. That one is also coming out significantly milder than average. And then week 4, it's closer to average. It's still a bit above average, but it's closer to average in week 4. But overall, a mild March, mild start to spring, definitely being seen by these two models. And then we go through to the precipitation anomaly. The coming week looks wetter than average in the north and west, near normal in the south and east. The week 2 precipitation anomaly, close to average, but hinting at being wetter than average in the west. Week 3 is going drier than average, particularly so in the north. And then week 4, as we go further and further out, the signal gets weaker. So week 4 is just coming out around average. Most parts of Europe also coming out around average. I suspect by week 4, the model is really losing the signal. So it looks like we've got some variation in terms of precipitation. I think the JMA going for quite a wet March. CFS does start off quite unsettled, but then it gradually dries things out. And both models are in agreement on a significantly milder than average March and a milder than average start to the spring as well. So, if you want cold weather, if you're hoping for a late blast of winter in March, doesn't look great from JMA Friday today. We'll do it all over again next week, and these charts could look significantly different then. As I always say, these long-range models are highly experimental. They are prone to chopping and changing, so it's just a snapshot of what the models are showing today. They could look rather different next week. Right, that's all for now. Had to rattle through very quickly. Hope you found the video interesting and informative. Tomorrow we've got weekend forecast coming up, and then in the evening we'll have the latest ENSO update for February, all the developments in the Pacific Ocean. Hear about that tomorrow evening. Sunday, loads of long range stuff coming up. So a big weekend, guys. Well, do keep checking back for more. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.